It's a new day here at Donington Park, and hopefully today will be a bit of a cooler one. We've got a nice breeze coming across the circuit this morning, setting the tone for what will be a really exciting second race of the weekend. We've got another race coming up for you as well this afternoon, but before we get there, last time out yesterday was a little bit chaotic. Let's check out all the things you missed yesterday.
Highlights from the round 7 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. It's Luke Hilton who was leading from pole position. Franek Jagelski who was able to battle into the opening corner, but it was Hilton straight around the outside, hanging on to the lead of the race. Side by side, plenty on back as Alex O'Grady was making some good progress through the field. A couple of cars running out wide. There was this crash though towards the end of the opening lap that saw Archie Davies and Connor Grant both into the gravel trap that would require a safety car that would then neutralise the field. That meant that Luke Hilton would have to do it all over again, trying to build the gap, which we had up to 1.2 seconds over Franek Jagelski. Once we got back racing, he was back to trying to build the gap, but the tyres weren't quite there and the pressure was building behind. Jagelski was trying to keep up, Dayton Coulthard going with him. Behind, it was all the battles a little bit further down outside the top 10 as Thomas Ingram Hill was trying to fend off one of his championship rivals in Enzo Holman. Fred Green working his way through the field, also battling with Thomas Ingram Hill as Enzo Holman was starting to check away from the pair of them, and they needed to make some progress. There was this incident a little bit later on in the races. Jasser Iskander would unfortunately make contact with the rear end of John O'Donnell and would unfortunately retire from the race off and into the gravel trap. There was plenty of drama further back as well, as unfortunately Enzo Ruggiero would also go round and Michael Coe would retire from the race. And there would also be an issue with one of the elites of Matan Achetov. They'd all managed to end up getting back going apart from Michael Coe, who would retire from the race, staying on the inside. Battles further down the order would have Jamie Leverton on his debut for nitrous competitions by ADM, getting past Selen Amrausch and moving up the order, gaining an extra couple of valuable points. But for the first time in his GB4 career, it is Luke Hilton taking his victory. So Luke Hilton hanging on and taking a brilliant win. It was a superb drive from him, and it will be a superb result for him to take into the night. It will be Hilton ahead of Jagelski, ahead of Dayton Coulthard, our top 3. I mean, look, it's a superb performance to get your first race victory like that, especially after such a long wait. He did have a podium before, though, in his GB4 career, but to take that first victory, very good indeed. Behind that, it'll be Franek Jagelski and Dayton Coulthard. And of course, 4th position behind that will be Dimitri Nolan, who gets to start tomorrow's race from the reverse grid pole. That's just how crazy things have been this weekend. And Josh McLean up there as well. We'll come back to the results in a few moments' time. We'll head our way down to the podium and we'll investigate exactly what's going on, and we'll see our top 3 on. Never mind. It's Hilton, then it's Jagelski, then it's Coulthard, Nolan and McLean. Then it's Alex O'Grady in 6th position with Jordan Martin hanging on to 7th. Superb performance from her. Enzo Holman, and then O'Donnell and Green behind in 10th position. Enzo Holman getting the fastest lap of the race. So a superb performance there from the Swedish driver.
Luke, that was an absolutely exceptional drive from pole to win. What are your emotions right now?
I have no words. All I can say is thank you to everyone that's involved. Do you know what? Nitrous ADM really deserved that. Gary Ward has really put in the hard work, and thank you so much to David Williams for everything as well with the team. And thank you so much to my mechanic captain and everyone who's around me, my engineer Andre, everyone. Thank you so much to my dad as well for putting this together, as well as his wife Kirsty, and thank you to everyone for the support. I really can't thank everyone enough. You know, like it's been an emotional roller coaster so far this season, and hopefully we can start getting wins now. You know, we've had our first win out the way, and hopefully this momentum carries on. So I'd love to thank everyone, and a massive thank you and a shout out to Global Protect for coming today, and a massive thank you to all my sponsors, Howdens, Open Door Mortgages, etc. Thank you so much for everyone's support, and I love you all so much.
P2 is a lot to be proud of. Now, you put a lot of focus on your physical training. That must have paid off today with how hot it is.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's like 30 degrees out here. yeah, I just don't know what to say. I'm super happy because of the P2. And yeah, let's hope for more of that.
Congratulations on a well-deserved podium. We were just saying to Frank there, it's a shame we didn't get to see you racing a bit more.
Yeah, it's another one of them things when you get into the wash. There's not much overtaken, but it's a good result for us, good points.
Yes, wonderful as always to see some new faces on the podium and celebrate with them. Welcome back to Donington Park. It's almost time for round 8 here, our second race of the weekend. I'm Antonia Rankin and I'm here this weekend with Abbi Pulling. No, hello? Say hello, Abbi.
Sorry. Hello. No, yeah, it's really cool to be here again. And Donington Park, it's an awesome circuit. We're going to see some awesome racing again. The grid's mixed up, as we said, so it's going to be another interesting race. Lots of action up and down the grid.
For sure. Now, like we said, it was a maiden victory for Luke Hilton yesterday. He's starting a bit further down today. He's in P8, although yesterday's P3, Dayton Coulthard, is right on the front row, so that should see some interesting action. We caught some driver reactions to yesterday's race earlier. Fred, it's been a difficult Saturday for sure, but you did make up some positions in the race, not all bad?
No. Although I was overtaken a lot, which would normally be really enjoyable, it's a bit scary to be honest. And when there's such big speed differences because of what happened in the qualifying result, it gets a bit dangerous. It's not that pleasant as a driver, and it's sort of survival rather than aggression. But fortunately, we didn't lose too many points to the other boys in the championship, so that's a positive. But very frustrated with how it was ran in quali, to be honest, in the track limit situation.
But tomorrow's a new day. We reset and go again. Days like this, especially for you, are so rare.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be another difficult day, starting in the same position for both races. So, yeah, same again, just sort of survive and hopefully put out a good result.
We'll look forward to seeing that. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Josh, now, aside from all of the chaos of the day, it's a strong result for you in a difficult race.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the dirty air as well makes it hard to move forward once the race gets started, but I think it was good. Kept the nose clean and to go with a top 5 finish is really pleasing, especially after quite an unfortunate qualifying for myself. But we take our lucky stars when they come. So. And
a lot of focus required today. It must be nice that you can just nip home.
Yes, 50 minutes away, get home, have a shower, straight to bed, and then bright and early tomorrow morning. So. How
do you reset after a day like this? It must be difficult to kind of reframe your mentality.
For me, it's kind of hard to switch off until after Sunday. So. Yeah, it's just staying focused for as long as we can and then just crash in on Sunday night and go to bed.
Crash is not the right word. Relax on Sunday night. No crashes.
Professionally relaxed, but it feels more like a crash, but yeah.
Well, enjoy your evening. We'll see you tomorrow, Josh.
Thank you very much.
Alex, I actually just want to start off by congratulating you on keeping your chin up because this was a really tough day and you still came out, still performed really well under the conditions, outperforming your championship rival.
I mean, it's been positive. Obviously, what happened with qualifying was not great, but still we made the most of it in race 1. Started P10 and finished P6, so yeah, good points on the board. Still outscored all my championship rivals, and I can't be too disappointed. Obviously, it would have been nice to start on pole, but you can't have it your own way.
And tomorrow, what can we expect from you?
Well, hopefully to go forward a little bit. Obviously, there's some people around me who are a bit inexperienced, so hopefully I can get around them and not crash, and hopefully just score a few more points.
Any thoughts ahead of the reverse grid as well? I mean, in theory, starting from this position after race 2 would be great.
It would be, but then again, you want to almost start further back so you can make up more points from overtakes. So starting P2 really isn't much of an advantage. Obviously, it's nice to be able to take a trophy home starting in that position. So yeah, the aim is to go for the win in that one.
Lots of opportunities coming your way for sure. We'll look forward to watching you tomorrow.
Thank you.
And tomorrow certainly will be interesting, or at least today will be very interesting. Fred will be starting in P13 right next to Alex there. That'll be nice for some elbows out.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for the championship fight, they'll be both trying to get one upon each other. Fred, of course, great damage limitation yesterday, although maybe wanted a bit more today, starting P13, so a little bit higher up. He would definitely be looking to try and get in that top 8, top 7 region, if even more. Great. And yeah, we'll probably maybe see them almost hold each other up to an extent, trying to get one up on each other.
It's interesting when that happens, isn't it? Because of course it gives the people behind them a chance to catch up. Fred, of course, yesterday finished in P10, which in the grand scheme of things for him is quite disappointing. That must be tough when you're the championship leader.
Yeah, but as I say, it's all damage limitation with what happened to him and everyone after qualifying, and it's all a bit of a mix-up. He's doing what he needs to, just keeping his nose clean. There's a lot of drivers that actually DNF'd yesterday, so that's exactly what he doesn't want. He wants to just keep scoring constant points. He's still leading the championship, although the gap closed. It's still in his hands, which is the main thing.
For sure, but Alex did then make up a few points. It'll be interesting to see how that transpires over the rest of the weekend. Now, we've got a bit more changeable conditions today. It's ever so slightly cooler. Does that just give the drivers a bit more of a chance to relax now that they're not sweating in the cars so much?
To be fair, they're probably still sweating. It still gets hot in there, but it is nice to have a breeze, especially when you're in the assembly area. You get... you're not as stuffy, but it's also the tyres. Bringing the tyres in, they're going to have to work a lot harder this morning as it's cool, the track temp's much lower and the sun's out, but as you can see, my hair flying everywhere. It's a much windier, and then that also poses a different challenge in this track. It's all high speed, so it can unsettle the car balance, give you an unexpected snap. Especially, it's a bit of a tailwind into McLane's and old hairpins. So down there, it's high commitment, and that's the last place you want the wind getting kind of behind you and moving your rear around. But it's something that all these drivers have got to face with this morning, and it's the same for everyone, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, lots of changes in the setup we hear over the last few days, so the drivers are going to have to be very adaptable. I'm sure that's not an easy feat in itself, but anyway, there's battles throughout the grid, and one of the drivers who's been a real highlight has been Selene Amrouche. Abbi spoke to her yesterday.
So I'm here joined with Selene. She's racing this year with Arden Motorsport. And Selene, what brought you to the GB4 Championship? Your previous experience is a lot of GT stuff. Yeah. So what was the thing that brought you to this paddock?
Yeah, I'm here for learn for practice my English, because I'm French and my English is very, very bad. And of course there is a lot of girl here. It's good for fight with her, and that's it.
Yeah, there's so much to learn in this paddock, and actually going into the races, you've got your qualifying results back. Of course, there's been a lot of jostling about, but you're starting 8th and 5th. Yeah. So how are you feeling going into the races? What's your focus? And how are you thinking it's going to go?
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm very surprised. And yeah, just enjoy and give my best. Just enjoy, and I think for fight with the pole position. I don't know.
How are you enjoying also the British tracks? Of course, being French, you've not grown up on these English circuits. How are they differ from what you've previously experienced?
Yes, the track is very different for France because it's very tight, and I love what is the name?
Undulation.
Undulation. Yeah, I love that. It's so cool. In French, it's very, flat. Yeah, I know, flat. Yeah, I prefer the secret here, and the weather, a lot of changes. Is very interesting for learn.
Well, that was my next question. How has the British heat wave been treating you? Of course, it adds a bit more on tyre management and so on. Is that going to be something you're thinking about in the races? I mean, it's got a bit cooler, a bit cloudy now, but is that something you'll be thinking in your race start, that you need to manage the tyres for the race distance?
Yeah, management, the tyre is very important for the race. And I think it's same for today. It's cloudy and sun, but normally it's no rain. I don't like a rain.
Well, I got my fingers crossed for you, and good luck for the races this afternoon.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to give some kudos at the moment before we head out for race 2 to Michael Coe. He was the only driver of our entire grid in qualifying not to have a single lap time deleted. Made a few mistakes on the lap. I'm sure they all have at some point, but that's quite impressive. He was the only one with no track limits.
Yeah, and it's putting P4 on the grid this morning, so it just goes to show getting your lap in, getting it tidy is important. I mean, he's had 2 retirements in the last 2 races, so it's a really great opportunity for him to make some points up, and yeah, although the quali lap wasn't the tidiest in the sense of there's a few mistakes here and there, it was the tidiest in the sense of track limits. So yeah, great job for him to be up there and now fighting potentially for a podium.
Yeah, I mean, starting from P4, you're in quite prime position. We spoke actually to Dimitri Nolan, who's on pole position, and he was talking about how it's quite a lot of pressure to be on pole, especially for the first time, because you've got so much to defend from behind you. So arguably, P4 is a really nice place to start.
Yeah, I mean, starting from P1, you got the biggest target on your back. So P4, although it's his best starting position, it will still be a bit daunting maybe. It'll also not be as daunting as having no one in front of you. So he's in a nice position, and hopefully he can either defend his ground or make some positions up.
Well, speaking of his qualifying lap, here's his lap yesterday.
The Donington Park circuit then, located in Leicestershire, originally opened back in 1931 before it closed and then was reopened in 1977. It is one of the most iconic circuits in the United Kingdom, and with plenty of overtaking opportunity. That run into Redgate, down the iconic Craner curve, through the old hairpin, before climbing once again towards McLean's and Coppice at the top of the hill. Down the Starkey Straight into the Fogarty S before we head onto the Grand Prix loop, where we've got the Melbourne hairpin, and then the final one at Goddard's back onto the Wheatcroft Straight. It is not the longest circuit we visit all year, but it does have a high proportion of overtaking zones, especially when the wind is blowing in the right direction, which we typically have a headwind down into the opening corner. About 2.5 miles and an awful lot of elevation to deal with. 35 metres they drop down to the old hairpin before climbing back up once again. It is a true test of a driver to work their way through a field around the Donington Park circuit.
On board now with the Arden driver, Michael Coe. Turn 1 is really important actually. It's slightly uphill and you're going to pick your braking in between the pit exit and that red triangle. Michael going a bit wide here, missing the apex, but getting the all-important exit down the Craner curves, keeping within track limits as well. Now Craner curves is a beautiful section of the track, downhill, making sure that you're really tidy to not scrub excess speed off. Now here, making sure you're prepped, ready for old hairpin, and it's all momentum-based old hairpin. There's a bit of compression where you gain a bit of extra grip, so you can commit there so much more than you think. Climbing up the hill into McLean's, you prep, you bring it to the left, brake in a straight line, and keep the momentum, and the minimum speed up here is really important, and keeping smooth as Michael's doing really brilliantly. Coppice now, you've got to really get on the throttle really early, as you can hear there, right before the apex. There's a long straight down here, it's just free time that he can gain. As well, got a really great toe going down now into the chicane, which is actually takes a lot of finesse. You want to brake a bit earlier, pick up the throttle on the entry to balance the car, keep within track limits at the apex, and then over the curb, which rocks you about a little bit. Picking the brake in downhill here is really hard. You get front lockups. Michael just runs a little bit wide, gets a bit eager, got on the entry, but a really good exit now on another climb up to the final corner, where getting the late apex is really important, and making sure you're opening up that exit here, as Michael does perfectly, and a really good exit to finish his lap around Donington Park.
Yeah, always great to have a look behind the scenes of those laps. So much goes into a qualifying lap, doesn't it? But it's almost time for the race now. As you can see right behind us, we've got drivers with helmets on in the cars, ready to go. Dimitri Nolan will be getting into the right headspace to lead his first lap out.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite daunting starting from pole for the first time, and yeah, he's very excited. I actually spoke to his mum before he went out, and I think she's more nervous than he is, to be honest. I mean, they're confident with his starts, the team are, and I mean, he's a rookie, you know, so it's all new to him, and yeah, it's an exciting feeling, and you know, even the pace laps, you know, where you're going to the grid and warming up your tyres, you're the car in front, you're the car, you know, dictating the pace, and it's yeah, quite a fun feeling. It's just then that anticipation on the line, that feeling you get is quite nervy. But then, yeah, across the grid, you know, there's also, you know, Thomas Ingram Hill is starting P11 actually. He's finished P4. 4 times, I think it is. So he's desperate to move forward and try and get some more points, and who knows, in the chaos, maybe try and move forward as well into podium positions. We'll see how the race unfolds.
Yeah, it's interesting actually speaking to Dimitri, and we'll hear from him in just a second. There's an element of imposter syndrome, I suppose, especially in the circumstances within which he got the pole position. Is that quite a common thing? I mean, racing is quite cut and dry. Either you're the fastest or you're not, and Dimitri was, but he still seemed a little bit hesitant almost.
Yeah, I think it is a really strange position to find yourself in, but you've just got you just got to look forward, you just got to look to the race and just take the opportunity and run with it, and exactly what Luke did yesterday. He led start to finish and really kind of ran with the opportunity, and that's exactly what Dimitri needs to try and do, and just gain experience. And I mean, he's got a lot of pressure, but beside him with Dayton. Dayton's obviously got a bit more experience, won races here last year, as we've said, was on the podium yesterday. But if he can fend off and have some close wheel-to-wheel battles with someone like that, it'll be really great learning for him.
Yeah, we're going to look forward to that battle. We caught up with Dimitri yesterday ahead of his very first pole position. Dimitri, what an absolutely unbelievable way of securing a pole in race 2. Can you talk us through your emotions surrounding that?
Very nervous, very cautiously optimistic, but it's good to get a pole, but it's also a bit weird to get in this way. But I mean, I'm just glad I kept it on the track.
Absolutely, a deserved pole nonetheless. What makes you say that you're feeling nervous? What's causing that?
It's my first pole in racing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just scary. It's very scary.
But you're going to be able to hold your own. You'll make the car nice and wide, I'm sure. Are you starting to think through some strategies of how you'll approach trying to keep all the other cars behind you?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to, do the best for me and my team and try to get the best result I possibly can.
Do you think that in these conditions, particularly with it being a little bit windy too, throwing off the balance of the car, do you think that would suit you quite well, also being used to the hot weather?
Yeah, to be fair, I've actually kind of liked this weather. It's been nice. Yesterday was pretty nice. Yeah, I think it'd probably be pretty good, hopefully.
So you agree it's looking pretty good? You don't need to be nervous.
I don't know. It's a lot.
It is, but you will rise to the challenge. We're looking forward to watching.
Thank you so much.
And we were going to just have a quick spiel about Jordan behind us. She had her PB yesterday of P7, 15 years old, such a young, promising talent. We've got cars going behind us, so it's now time to go racing here at Donington.
Race 2 of the weekend here at the Donington Park circuit for the GB4 Championship, and it was an epic yesterday with a very jumbled up grid. We still have a jumbled up grid, and that will be the talk all the way through this weekend, even when it comes to that reverse grid race this afternoon. Keeping our eyes focused though on what we have ahead of us, and of course the circuit that we're racing around 2.5 miles and an awful lot of elevation in that run up the hill towards Redgate in the opening quarter before dropping down through the Craner curves into the old hairpin and rising back up again. This back stretch, which goes down into the Melbourne hairpin, prime for overtaking opportunities and prime for drama, as we saw a fair few times yesterday, including Michael Coe, who obviously retired down there. We had the likes of Archie Davies and Connor Grant that were in the gravel trap going through the fog. And yes, it is a tricky part of the track, but the one where you can make the most moves. 35 metres of elevation, almost all of which are dropping down that hill through the Craner curves into the old hairpin. That is a look at Donington Park we'll be racing today. The grid is already set here for race 2. They're working their way out of the assembly area and are already on their formation lap. And a penny for the thoughts of what's going through Dimitri Nolan's mind. He'll be starting from pole position. The starting grid for round 8 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, has Dimitri Nolan starting from pole position, and he'll have a lot of work to do to try and keep Dayton Coulthard alongside. It was a PB finish yesterday for Dimitri Nolan. 2 podiums from 2 races, trying to make it 3 from 3 for Dayton Coulthard there on the front row. Behind that, it's Jordan Martin, who had her PB finish yesterday of 7th place. Michael Coe has had 2 retirements for the last 2 races, starting from 4th place. Jatter Iskander and Enzo Ruggiero, it was a double retirement for the Fox duo yesterday. They'll be trying to get at least some points onto the board. Josh McLean and Luke Hilton, our 2 most recent race winners in the GB4 Championship, will be starting on row 8. Behind that is Frank Strigelski, had his first podium yesterday alongside Selen Amrouche. Starting just inside the top 10, searching for her first. Thomas Ingram Hill will be starting from 11th position alongside Matan Achitov, who obviously had a podium back in race 3 in Silverstone. No podiums this season so far for Thomas Ingram Hill. The battle of the top of the table, Fred Green and Alex O'Grady, first and second of the championship, 13th and 14th. Behind that, it's Enzo Holman and Connor Willis, whose top 10 streak ended yesterday. Now it is just Alex O'Grady and Enzo Holman who keep the top 10 streak alive. Torrin Byrne will start from 17th position, Connor Grant alongside after his retirement, with John O'Donnell and Caitlin McDaniel in 19th and 20th. Jamie Leverton will be the one starting from 21st. Had his joint personal best performance after moving over from Adola into the nitrous competitions by ADM. Emilio Valentino Del Grosso will be alongside Holly Marlin, Archie Davies in 23rd and 24th before the final row of the grid as Archie Bullard alongside Remy Bouquet. And of course, Archie Bullard was the only driver to get a in-race penalty yesterday for track limit excursions. The 26 cars will work their way onto the grid and prepare themselves for a 20-minute race. Very quickly, Abby Pullen, you've worked your way. Oh, that was a quick run. Goodness me, you're much healthier than Piers. That's fine. Obviously, great day.
There's not a car involved in getting me here. Great day, and it's looking forward to going racing.
Well, 20 minutes back onto the clock. Round 8 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, ready to go. And it'll be Dimitri Nolan from his first pole position alongside Dayton Coulthard, who won round here yesterday. Bit of a jump start there from Fred Green. Jump start from Fred Green, your championship leader in the background. Went too early. He'll surely have to come into the pit lane or something for a penalty. Well, we'll have to wait and see what race control think about that one. Already getting on the aggressive attack was Jasser Iskander there at the opening corner, trying to get his way past Jordan Martin and Michael Coe. Couldn't quite do that one. Off the road goes one of the Ardens as well. And dropping down the field, that might have been Selene Amrouche. For Dayton Coulthard, though, it was a perfect start, and whilst we were distracted by what was happening behind, it is Dayton Coulthard in the all-black Douglas Motorsports car that has taken over the race lead from Dimitri Nolan. Jump start, they potentially there from Fred Green.
Yeah, that's a really big mistake. It was pretty obvious as well, so it will be a slam dunk penalty for him. But as you say, Dayton Coulthard making the most of that start, now actually putting a massive gap already on this opening lap.
Josh McLean was making some big moves there, was trying to get past the number 24 of Michael Coe. Couldn't quite do it there. They definitely gave it a bit of a look as they were working through. McLean's now up towards Coppice, but didn't quite find his way through. So it is currently then, you're racing to Dayton Coulthard, Dimitri Nolan behind, then Michael Coe, and then the 76 of Josh McLean. That is Luke Hilton going on the attack. Yesterday's race winner trying to get past one of the Fox cars. And there is Thomas Ingram Hill getting past Fred Green in the bright orange elite car. As you'd not be shocked, the start is under investigation there from race control. What a surprise.
No, and Fred there getting his elbows out. He's made up some ground, actually, even though he did, obviously jump the start. But he's getting his elbows out side by side with...
Oh, contact between the two Vortex. That was a costly mistake from Jordan Martin. Fred Green's gone as well. Jordan Martin got into the rear of Thomas Ingram Hill, and Fred Green, regardless of the jump start, is going to be out of the second race of this weekend in round 8 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. That is the championship leader off at the final corner. Wow, that was just a bit of a lock-up there from Jordan Martin, just trying to wrestle there with two of the title protagonists, and unfortunately maybe getting it a little bit wrong, and Fred Green was just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Fred, and an unfortunate mistake as well for Jordan there, misjudging it as it's gone to safety car. So I'm not surprised there seeing the safety car come out for Fred Green now, jumping out of his car in the last corner. The last corner is a tricky one to get right, as it's a bit off camber, and it is easy to lock a front left in there, especially this morning, as I mentioned, in the assembly area that is colder and it's windy. So getting the tyres in is going to be extra hard on a morning like this.
Yeah, I can only speak of my experience from sim racing games and stuff, and I do know that final corner can be a little bit of a test on the front tyres. It's so easy to lock a brake, and Jordan Martin just getting it a little bit wrong there. And I've got to say, speaking of the positives of the opening lap, Torrin Byrne went from 17th position all the way up to 9th. Quality start there from the pace performance car. Obviously, Dayton Coulthard taking over the race lead for Dimitri Nolan. Got to say, considering how nervous that Dimitri Nolan was, kept his cool on the race start. I mean, we can see it here. There's the jump from Fred Green.
Yeah, it's blatantly clear, Fred there. But Dimitri just not getting the start maybe he wanted, but managing to keep it in P2, especially for the opening lap. That'll give him some confidence that he can maybe find some pace and try and attack Dayton back in the later laps. But this right now with Fred out and having that issue at the start, this is a really great opportunity for Alex.
Well, here's the incident. I mean, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's just a misjudgment, and actually initially hits her teammate Thomas Ingram Hill to begin with, and Fred was just wrong place at the wrong time, really.
Yeah, I've got to say, especially that second bit, that contact with Fred Green, like there wasn't actually anything that Jordan Martin could do, because her front wing obviously broken on Thomas Ingram Hill, and then as soon as the front wing goes under the car, she goes in a straight line.
You become a passenger because your front tyre is no longer touching the track. They're now on the front wing. Yeah, it's an unfortunate, especially because she was starting for P3, which would have been her best starting position, and she also finished P7 yesterday after a really great race. So it's really unfortunate for her.
Jasser Iskander also doing a good job to hang on at the moment, 5th position at the moment for the number 33. Of course, I did mention that yesterday it was a double retirement for the Fox Motorsports duo. Jasser Iskander did have some really good pace yesterday, made contact with the back of John O'Donnell, which cost him a solid result. But I've got to say, Iskander's in 5th position. Yes, of course, we've got the safety car, fair enough, but I always get the feeling that in these races, to keep that confidence high, you've got to hang on to those positions in the early stages, and after that, if you don't lose 5 or 6 on that first lap, that's where your confidence starts to build.
Yeah, and I always say you can lose a race on the first corner, but you can't win it, so you need to make sure you keep that position in a good place, keep yourself in a place where you can keep attacking forward, and that's exactly what he's done. And I think it's really, really good to mention as well that in the championship battle with Alex and Fred, it really shows that actually he's in the top 10, he can try and push forward and make some more positions, and he could maybe take the championship lead at the end of this race if he keeps his nose clean and doesn't get involved in any incidents.
Yeah, and obviously, now that Fred Green's obviously had the frustration yesterday, didn't have the race that he wanted, obviously qualifying did not go his way, obviously with the track limit excursions, was frustrated from yesterday's race. I mean, do you think that played a part maybe in his jump start? And if it did play a part in his jump start, he's obviously going to be frustrated with the Jordan Martin incident then. He's going to be frustrated going into the afternoon's race as well.
Yeah, it's not been a really great, I mean, I don't want to say great string of luck, because, track limits and so on, there's so much that's within your own control as well. But as well, the jump start, we don't know. It could be, you can have a lot of issues with the clutches and things can go wrong. Whether it was driver error or mechanical error, we don't know yet until we talk to him, after the race. But it would be good to get an insight in that, and if it is a mechanical thing, then he can kind of go into the afternoon a bit more confident in knowing that it wasn't his fault. But we'll see. The instant that's even took him out of the race, he can kind of confidently say it wasn't his fault. So, there's things like that, and as a driver, you do have to just pick yourself up and get on with it and move forward. I mean, it's much easier to say, and I can take my own advice sometimes, I think, but it's hard to do. But at the end of the day, he's still in a great position in the championship. You do have your bad days, and so far this has been kind of one of them for him.
Yeah, we're only a third of the way through the 2026 campaign with the GB4 Championship. Still a very, very long way to go. Still a lot of title protagonists up there. Luke Hilton's building back up after yesterday, and again doing a really good job on the race start there up to 6th. Maybe that's also a little bit in the back of Fred Green's mind, that he felt that maybe he needs to get on with it a little bit. Safety car will be coming in this lap. I get the feeling that when we come back here later on the season, and then obviously build up towards our season finale in West Kingsdown and Kent at Brands Hatch at the end of the year, that we are going to have an awful lot of title protagonists. And it's races like this where, for you likes of Alex O'Grady, this is where they make that mark. Yeah,
exactly, and it's really picking up the pieces when others can't, and taking them opportunities and them moments, and really closing in the gap. I mean, the points gap now is 7 points, and it's gonna if he finishes where he is, he should take the championship lead. So he just needs to keep his cool and keep it clean.
Indeed, but I get the feeling that the likes of Thomas Ingram-Hill, Enzo Holman and Luke Hilton will also be getting aggressive. Alex O'Grady on the restart yesterday didn't make up any positions, restarted 6th, finished 6th. Now we'll be restarting from 10th and needs to make a little bit more progress. We are back racing. Dimitri Nolan really keeping Dayton Coulthard under pressure. Into the final corner they go. I didn't think it was allowed to overtake until they've crossed the start-finish line, but Dayton Coulthard was feeling that pressure from Dimitri Nolan. They are back racing. Dimitri Nolan about to be overtaken here potentially from Michael Coe, who looks to the right-hand side. The red and white there of the Arden going full send around the outside. Bit of a lock-up from behind. Almost into the rear was Josh McGlade, who locked up that front right into the opening corner, and he actually did rather tap the rear end of Dimitri Nolan, who has no front wing, walking through one of the fastest parts of this racetrack in British motorsport, to be honest.
He's going to feel that through old hairpin. Yeah, you really need the rear support through there. Well, he's made it work, but that was a bit clumsy on the restart. I don't know if he knows you can't overlap before the start-finish, and then getting the contact now into turn 1, he's really got a lot of damage there he's going to have to manage.
Ooh, one car off. That's Thomas Ingram-Hill into the barrier. Thomas Ingram-Hill, the Fortec car, into the barrier there as they work their way through McLean's. He will be out of the race. Another one out. That's Michael Coe, who's retired with a rear left puncture there. Obviously, you had the rear wing for Dimitri Nolan, which I'm almost certain will be a black and orange flag. He'll have to return his way to pit lane. Luke Hilton's got up, by the way, in the 3rd position. That will most likely become 2nd. Dayton Coulthard's absolutely run away, side by side running through the chicane. That was one of the, that might have been Josh McLean rather, for the Pace Performance team. A chaotic restart here to race 2 of the weekend.
Yeah, gosh, you almost don't know where to look, but Luke Hilton really making the most out of all the chaos and finding his way through as we go back into safety car conditions. Yeah, Luke Hilton, started P8 and he's just been finding the right places, putting himself in the right gaps to move forward, and it could be a weekend to remember for Luke if he keeps going this way.
Now, am I right in, because that was my understanding of the rules, that you're not allowed, let's go back to that restart, you're not allowed to overtake until the start finish?
Yeah, that was really bizarre. You're not allowed to not even have any overlap. Right. So the fact that he was overtaking around the outside in the last corner made me think maybe that Dayton had an issue going into the last corner, but maybe it was also he was trying to back everyone up to get a really good exit. It's not something I've seen before, but also something to remember is that Dimitri is a rookie driver, so potentially just a mistake from his part and something maybe unclear for him. So yeah, unfortunate for him now that he's got the damage, because he's been doing so well. He obviously started at the front but has maintained his position at the front, and fighting for the top 3 position, but that will be, I'm sure, him coming through the pit lane for that damage. Yeah,
I mean, you can see the rear wing damage. The part that is the serious problem, for one, it'll be pretty unsafe. You've got to have good hands to be able to go through. If there's a corner that I wouldn't want my rear wing to not be there, old hairpin's pretty high on the list of no, I don't fancy that. That must have been so tricky on that restart. I wonder, would he have known at the point he was tapped to check his mirror to see if the rear wing was still there? Or might have only known when he turned?
See, you don't really have your mirrors pointed to see the rear wing. That's the main thing. You want to have quite a wide angle of where you can see, so you don't necessarily see the side of your car and the back of your car. You see more to the right or left in that instance. So I'll be amazed if he's probably been told over the radio, to be honest, by his team, you've got a bit of damage, be mindful whilst you're driving, and probably going to commute into the pits.
Well, the radio in the cars, they only have radios to get information from race control, so the race control can tell them the safety car's there. The teams cannot communicate with the driver outside of the boards. So if you're a driver in this, obviously in GB3 you get a nice little race engineer in your ear.
I'm spoiled with having a radio, and I was actually unaware of that, so that makes it even harder for the team. So yeah, that will be where Dimitri will need to be checking what race controller saying or showing him on the screens.
Oh no, I've got a black and orange flag for 95. That is obviously to return to pit lane. You can actually see it there on the right hand side. The black flag with the orange disc on it, that is for Selene Amrouche for a front wing. So nothing as of yet for Dimitri Nolan, but I'm sure it'll be coming out fairly soon. It's kind of where that rear wing end plate is just hanging over. That's no. The rear wing obviously can't be repaired quickly.
And it's the risk that as well that piece can fall off and then hit another driver and so on. And yeah, to negate that risk, normally for things like that, they bring the drivers in. But yeah, I mean, he made it work, made it stick for old hairpin.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed with that. For sure, you can feel it as a driver when things like this happen. The front wing goes or the rear wing. Although in these cars the downforce levels aren't massive, you can still feel a little kind of uncertainty and lack of grip, let's say, on the axle where you're having the issue. Although I've never had a rear wing fall off, so that would be a new feeling for me as well.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that that's not a feeling you're happy to dealing with at any time soon. Confirmation from race control, black and orange flag, car number 6, rear wing. So yes, Dimitri Nolan has now just been given the call. I'm sure that will hopefully go from radio over to them from race control. If not, he'll see it when it comes around this time and will have to return to pit lane. Although the safety car will be coming in this lap, which this is actually bad for Luke Hilton, because if Dimitri Nolan has to come into the pit lane, Luke Hilton is now behind a car that's effectively not in the race. Dayton Coulthard's in a great spot.
I was going to say it's perfect for Dayton. He can now kind of bridge a gap, and yeah, it's hard for Luke because he's not allowed to overtake until that car has passed the safety car line. So it's quite unfortunate for him. We'll see where they go. If I was Dayton, I would go as soon as possible to bridge that gap. Although he probably doesn't have the information that we do, that the P2 driver's going to have to come in the pits, but it would be the biggest benefit to him if he was to go earlier.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what we've got. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. From this point, it should be 4 laps of racing. Once again, going early, and Dimitri Nolan keeping very close pressure on Dayton Coulthard into the final corner. Out they'll go through the final turn and back onto the racing circuit. That is where Dimitri Nolan will get the black and orange flag, so he'll know that he has to come into the pit lane ASAP. It'll be at the end of this lap. But for Dayton Coulthard, again, a perfect restart for him. Some tyre warming happening there, I think, for Torin Byrne. Dimitri Nolan, as much as he's got a black and orange flag, I mean, he'll still be like, well, I can still race.
Yeah, he's making it work. He's putting Dayton into all sorts of pressure going into turn 1. Let's see how he does for the rest of the lap, piling on the pressure, but he will have to come in at the end, and this is where, as we say, Luke now he's getting stuck behind Dimitri and is getting a bit bulked up. Of course, we actually just saw go for old hairpin, Dimitri struggling with that rear wing, hanging off, and Luke piling on the pressure now and actually going for a move into McLean's round the outside, textbook move there, and made it stick.
It's been a brilliant weekend so far for Luke Hilton. Now Jasser Iskander looking for his first ever podium, look to the inside and completes the move out wide. Then goes to Dimitri Nolan, dropping 1, dropping 2, dropping 3 potentially here.
I think he's
struggling now.
I think he's realised that he's got the black and orange, and he's getting out the way of everyone actually, which is really good from him, not getting interfering with anyone else's race.
Indeed. Torin Byrne now attacking for the podium, so it's Torin Byrne versus Jasser Iskander. Jasser Iskander in the white, blue and orange, the Fox Motorsports car. It's the white and the 2 shades of green there for Torin Byrne, and behind all of that is the 99 of Connor Willis, who had a top 10 in all of the races until yesterday, where unfortunately missed out on continuing his top 10 streak. However, doesn't have a podium to his name and had to go through pit lane and still finish 13th. This is Alex O'Grady currently hanging on to 8th position. John O'Donnell's going back on the attack. The restart to the race is a bit chaotic. Everyone's everywhere and everyone's fighting. Jasser Iskander now coming back over to defend at the moment for 3rd position in the number 33, and a big look to the outside from Connor Willis. Also behind, John O'Donnell making the move on Alex O'Grady in the grey and blue.
That was a really great move, bold, but struggling on the exit there to make it stick. It's hard to keep it into Craners, but it's as we're going maybe 3 abreast into Old Hairpin here, you've got to really keep it tidy, keep it clean, and get the drive up the hill. Potentially an opportunity now going up the hill for the hill speed car of Connor Willis, I believe that is, going around the outside. Really getting your elbows out, maybe losing a place as well to the car behind.
But every time he goes for it, Torin Byrne is right there to try and pick up the spot again. Let's see it, the battle for 3rd. Torin Byrne back to the inside, back up to 4th position. That's Connor Willis back down then into 5th in the black and red hill speed car, and now they're joined by Ruggiero and Alex O'Grady. Ruggiero on the left hand side of your screen in the 36, Alex O'Grady in the grey and blue directly behind. Willis under pressure from the Fox Motorsports car, and now goes wide, makes contact there with Ruggiero, who goes goes off and loses his front wing. So unfortunate for the number 36. Back up to the fight for the podium, and it's Jasser Iskander with a bit of a lock-up, and Torin Byrne to the inside. Can he complete the move? He's got to get the drive off. Great move there from the Pace Performance car.
Yeah, I was just about to compliment Alexander on his incredible defensive drive, but is he going to go and try and pile the pressure back on into turn 1? We know he likes a move in there, and trying to get a good exit out the last corner. It's really important here to open up the opportunity now, but I don't think he's quite close enough. But in the background there, it's Linus Stern. Everyone is really, really piling on the pressure.
I mentioned it earlier, I mentioned it yesterday, that Torin Byrne had some great speed in qualifying. Unfortunately, obviously had some of that to move, fair enough. He started this race from 17th position all the way up to 3rd, looking for his first podium in the GB4 Championship. Simply incredible. Alex O'Grady set to take over the championship lead at the moment, runs in 5th position. He's had 2 of his championship rivals out of this race in Fred Green and Thomas Ingram Hill. Enzo Holman is lone championship rival, effectively back there in 7th position, but Luke Hilton's getting himself back into the mix. Jasser Iskander out a little bit wide going through McGlade. The up and under coming from Alex O'Grady in the grey and blue. Iskander trying to hang on at the moment, looking for his first top 10 in the championship, let alone top 5, let alone podium, but Alex O'Grady's got through and into 4th.
Yeah, really great stuff from Alex O'Grady. Now he's got to go on the defensive into the chicane, but no, Alexander's got to go defensive as well. It's really, really tough stuff here. You've got to keep your momentum up. So here, Alexander got to make sure he still keeps his exit to make sure into the hairpin he's not under pressure. But now the Hill Speed drivers joining the party as well.
Yeah, this is absolute chaos. Love this. We've got 1 minute to go. Oh, unfortunately, a bit of a mistake there from the Hill Speed, and that there was Enzo Holman, and there is a crash as well. Jasser Iskander involved in that. As I believe is John O'Donnell going into the hairpin there, and obviously a big lock up from Enzo Holman. Emilio Valentino Del Grosso now moving up a few positions. We'll see this one cross the line. I'm pretty sure that might well be a safety car. He's not come into the pit lane though, it's Enzo Holman, because he's thinking about his championship. There's one of the KMR Sport cars off in the background, and a chaotic second race of the weekend here at Donington Park. Big lock up from the Swede.
Yeah, I've never seen a front wing come off like that, but really just misjudged his braking going into the penultimate corner, and yeah, the front wing completely off. It's going to feel awful here down Craners. It's going to it's a sight I don't think I've ever seen, actually, this.
No, I've not seen a car with that much front end damage.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. You can even see the damper covers come off in the meantime as well, so you can see the suspension working its way as they're going around McLean's now.
A fascinating inside look then to the GB4 car of this year. Enzo Holman is thinking about his championship. He's thinking about just getting it to the line and scoring some points. Meanwhile, Dayton Coulthard has only got a few corners left to tick off, and obviously there'll be a double waved yellow down at the hairpin, so there's definitely no thought of a move from Luke Hilton, who has set the fastest lap on the previous lap. He'll work his way down into the Melbourne hairpin, dodging all of the debris and hopefully not getting a puncture, as Luke Hilton does flick up a little bit as they head their way into the final corner. And as it was last year, Dayton Coulthard took his opening victory in the GB4 Championship around this circuit last year. He took a victory back in Silverstone, and for the 3rd time in GB4, Dayton Coulthard will come across the line. It's 3 podiums in a row for Dayton Coulthard, maybe throwing his hat into the ring when it comes to a title protagonist. Luke Hilton, back-to-back podiums, joined for the very first time Torin Byrne, 17th to 3rd. What a drive!
Yeah, I think that's the story of the race, really. Just kept his nose clean, and I mean, incredible stuff to make up that many places and really put his mark down, really. I mean, I do feel for Alexander on that last lap, kind of an innocent victim there. I mean, Luke as well, he was catching up Dayton quite quickly and putting on some pressure. So, yeah, what an exciting race to watch that one was.
Now, you've been in quite a few races that have been chaotic. Sometimes, I guess, as a driver, you don't realise how chaotic they are.
Well,
when
for
you're in the
Dayton,
car.
you would have seen all the debris and been like, something's happened here.
Yeah, I mean, what would that be? Obviously, he's just sat there, and effectively, from his point of view, he's the first driver, by the way, to win a qualified race that's not come from pole position. Obviously, Dimitri Nolan was our pole there. He's come through to start from second and win. That's all he's seen in the race. He's started from second, he's seen a safety car, has restarted from that, and then has restarted from another safety car and has won.
Yeah, for Dayton, it's strange when you do lead a race start to finish and there's safety cars and so on going on, because you do miss all the chaos behind. But I mean, it depends. I've been very lucky racing on an F1 weekend that you can sometimes actually see the screens. Unfortunately, there's no screens this weekend, but you can see what's going on a little bit. But yeah, I mean, kind of textbook race there for Dayton. You know, got the launch, did everything he needed off the line, and led from start to finish. Got really great safety car restarts, even with being under quite a lot of pressure by Dimitri Nolan, and a brilliant job from him, and also I think all of the top three, Luke Hilton getting another podium. He's going to love this circuit, I think, by the time he leaves. And then, like I say, Torin as well. Great drive from all three of them.
So obviously we'll update you with the championship standings after we've done with the podium. But just to give you a bit of a rough understanding, Alex O'Grady is now your championship leader. It will be by 14 points over Fred Green. A few really solid drives to look out for. Like I said, Torin Byrne, first podium in there. Connor Grant and Remy Bouquet back into the top 10. For Connor Grant, a personal best performance, 6th place in that race, which consider Connor Grant started from 18th position. I'm sure as much as there is an awful lot of disappointment out there from some of the drivers, your likes of Enzo Holman, Thomas Ingram Hill and Fred Green, 3 of the top 4 of the championship, basically down and out, apart from Enzo Holman, who kind of just limped back to 11th. There's a lot of positivity and a lot of emotion out there as well.
Yeah, exactly, and as you say, it can put it all into this man's hands. Dayton, he will be scoring lots of points from this race win, and it will put him right in the championship fight, which is exactly what you want at this part of the season. It's a long year, but you want to get in that fight, as it's nice to see the camaraderie between racers there, both congratulating each other.
Yeah, these two, Dayton Coulthard and Luke Hilton, have both overtaken Thomas Ingram Hill now in the championship, and I wouldn't necessarily rule Thomas Ingram Hill out of it, so if I'm not ruling Thomas Ingram Hill out of it, because we've got 6 drivers to really focus on at the moment. Obviously we've only done 8 races, fair enough, and Dayton Coulthard will now be 34 points off of the championship lead. 4th place finish for Alex O'Grady. Fred Green not getting any points, will be 14 points off. Dayton Coulthard was pretty happy with his victory back in Silverstone. He was pretty happy with his victory around here last year. I'm sure as much as he'll be very happy with it, maybe podiums and winning becoming a bit more normal. 3 podiums in a row, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, what it takes to take it to the title is consistency, and that's exactly what he's doing. It will give him loads of confidence for sure going into the race this afternoon.
Well, whilst they're all getting their celebrations and such with their teams, we'll head down to Antonia Rankin to catch up with our top 3.
What an exceptional race that turned out to be. Absolutely filled to the brim with action. Dayton, a 3rd podium in the row for you and a race victory. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good race. Helps a lot with championship points. 2nd podium of the weekend, as you said, so it's so far so good.
And winning here last year as well. This must be a fast favourite for you.
Yeah, I'd say it's getting there now, but no, it's a good track for racing. A lot of them you can't really overtake, but this is probably the most exciting track to race on.
Interesting you say that, because we've got a reverse grid coming up. You're going to have to get your elbows out.
Yeah, a bit of fun to end the weekend off. Just try and stay out of the chaos, and see if we can grab some more points.
Well, congratulations! What a result!
Thank you very much.
Well, that was just exceptional from Dayton there. We'll just wait on Luke Hilton as he speaks to the track team. Torin Byrne, of course, a first-time podium sitter. Torin, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Starting P17 to P3, just kept it flat and stayed out of trouble, and definitely paid off.
Yeah, as Abbi said, that's the story of the race. What an incredible job you did. We've got drivers saying that overtaking is difficult. You clearly don't think so.
Well, you just got to keep it flat through all the trouble, and then you'll be fine. But no, I'm really happy with that race, and it's a good bit of confidence going into the next race. I think this is pace that we've definitely had, and I'm glad that we started to show it.
And you've already proven you can work your way up, so the reverse grid should be no issue, right?
I'm very excited for it. I can't wait.
We'll look forward to it too. Congratulations. Go and celebrate. Well done, Torin. Let's see if we can find Luke Hilton, man of the weekend. You're pulling some great results out the bag.
Yeah, it's been a nice weekend so far, my team said to me before that race, you've got nothing to prove now, just go and collect points. And I tried my hardest, we had to carve our way through a fair bit of traffic, and obviously those incidences that we had to miss. But yeah, I'd like to say, starting off, a massive thank you to the team. Again, prepping a lovely car to drive throughout the race. And I think we got fastest lap. So it's proving that the setup we got in the car is in the window and that we can go and deliver a great job. So a massive thank you to the whole team. And yeah, I'm over the moon. And do you know what? They deserve to enjoy this. You know, like we've had so much hard work throughout the pre-season. Like we've shown really strong pace. Just not the luck we needed throughout the start of the season. We got double pole, lost it, and then we had carried a penalty into Alton, so it was kind of on the back foot. Start 2 rounds, but hopefully we can make a comeback, you know, and it'll be quite nice to start seeing me on the podium some more. And like as I said, the team deserve it. You know, they work so hard, and yeah.
Well, we'd love to see you on the podium as often as possible. How are you feeling for race 3? What are your goals?
Just deliver the same thing again, you know, starting to P12, I think, because I got reverse grip pole, and I just got to keep my nose clean, not get any damage, and just carve my way through and see how many places I can gain, because you get points for gaining places, and also, you know, I'm trying to collect championship points as well, so I got to play the clean one and smart one as I did in that race. So let's just carry it over on into race 3.
Great job today, Luke. Congratulations. We're now going to throw to some highlights. So if you missed any of the race, don't worry, that's coming right up.
Highlights from round 8 of the GB4 Championship, and there was a jump start from Championship leader Fred Green before we even got going, but it was the perfect launch from Dayton Coulthard into the opening corner, getting past Dimitri Nolan before we got into the braking zone of that opening turn. There was plenty of battles behind. Jasser Iskander, 5th position, looking at the battle for the podium. Meanwhile, Selenam Rausch was unfortunately out wide at the opening corner, dropping down the order. Unfortunately for Jordan Martin, there was this lock-up and into the side of Thomas Ingram Hill before going over her own front wing and into the side of Fred Green, causing his retirement. This would bring out the safety car as everyone was navigating their way back out onto the Wheatcroft straight, and the race was neutralised and would calm down. But before long, we were back to action. It was Dayton Coulthard leading. Dimitri Nolan tapped on the rear, just a touch in the opening corner from Josh McGlade, who would break the rear wing of the Hill Speed car before they would drop down the hill. There was a rear puncture coming in from Michael Cope as he was battling himself with some of those heading up the hill, and Thomas Ingram Hill would be off the road and into the barrier. Jasser Iskander defending as much as he could, and there was this moment as Enzo Ruggiero would be under pressure. Connor Willis skipping over through the chicane, and Ruggiero would unfortunately lose his front wing in all of that. Enzo Holman, double front lock-up going down to the hairpin, straight into the rear end of Jasser Iskander, who then tapped the side of Josh McLean, and a pair of them would be out of the race. Dayton Coulthard, though, would win for the 3rd time in GB4 from Hilton over the run. We'll take a look at provisional race results, of course, and a victory from Dayton Coulthard. Luke Hilton and Torrin Byrne, the top 3. Alex O'Grady will take over the championship lead with 4th position, and Matan Achitov up to 5th position, flying a little bit under the radar for an almost personal best performance of the year. Connor Grant in 6th position, it was a personal best from him, and then Emilio Valentino Del Grosso in 7th. Robbie Bouquet in 8th position. Tchaikovsky, after a podium yesterday, will be ahead of Archie Bullard, who gets his personal best performance. Then it's Enzo Holman, after that front wing being lost, ended up crawling across the line in 11th. Jamie Leverton in 12th, his personal best, and his first weekend for nitrous competitions, ADM Racing. Ruggiero, then McDaniel, Davies, Martin, Mile, and then of course a lot of retirements in Iskander, O'Donnell, Willis, Amrausch, Nolan, Coe, McLean, Ingram Hill, and of course Fred Green, who was unable to complete even a single lap. Very unfortunate there. We'll take a look at the top 10 of the championship, at least provisionally. It's Alex O'Grady taking over the championship lead by 14 points. Fred Green in 2nd position with Enzo Holman behind. Dayton Coulthard moves his way up into the mix, as does Luke Hilton. Double podium for the pair of those this weekend. It's 3 in a row for Dayton Coulthard. Thomas Ingram Hill, after his retirement, drops down into 6th. Torrin Byrne grabs his first podium and moves himself into 7th in the championship, with Matan Achitov, Franek Tchaikovsky and Emilio Valentino Del Grosso will be the top 10. Obviously, we're still a little bit away from the halfway point of the championship. We'll see the drivers onto the podium. And of course, it's a 3rd podium in a row for Dayton Coulthard. This is what you can start to turn things around, isn't it, Abby?
Yeah, it'll be a nice feeling, especially as well to get his 2nd win of the year, and do that for Douglas Motorsport. And you know, they've got multiple kind of wins throughout the the years, and it would just be nice to top off this weekend, just finalising that win.
Absolutely. Torin Byrne, you'll see him in a second. He'll be the one to climb up into third position. His first podium. We were speaking before about Luke Hilton yesterday, his first victory, and how that can be the turning point. Torin Byrne's had some good speed towards the back end of the top 10, had a single retirement back in Silverstone, and obviously didn't score points yesterday, but he was showing some really, really good speed to grab that first podium. It's going to be a very sweet moment. That trophy, like you said, yours, they're on its way back. It's fine from Spa, but it's a sweet time to get your first trophy.
Yeah, of course, and it's really, huge congrats to him. He did everything he needed, and it's nice to share that with the race team and celebrate together.
Obviously, we'll be racing a little bit later on in the afternoon when we go racing for the all-important reverse grid race. You can catch up on all of the GB4 information on social media, where we'll be having plenty of action going into the race. It'll be about 20 to 3 while we're racing, or at least the broadcast will go live before racing just gone 3 o'clock here in Donington Park for the reverse grid race. Thank you so much for joining us, and until later on, bye-bye.